Real 92.3s, Bust Rhymes, the legend, the dragon, whatever you want to call him, is DJ Head. I got the OG here. I appreciate you taking the time out doing your legendary promo run.
Nah, I salute you, King. Thank you so much, General. Maximum love. You know what it is with us, bro.
Hey, as of right now, though, I got to get this shit out the way. What's going on is election. We got, obviously, the Democrats and the Republicans, as Kendrick would say. Kendrick said so eloquently, the Democrats and the Republicans are battling it out right now for control of the country. I saw you very vocal out there, which is dope to me because a lot of rappers, artists in general, whenever politics is involved, they tend to take their foot off the gas pedal because they have something to lose on either side when it comes to their fan base. But I do appreciate you utilizing your platform. Where do you stand on everything right now? Because as of right now and come January, we still don't have a president.
Right. I stand on solid ground, 10 toes down for our people. That's what I stand on. I stand on right and wrong. I stand on what's morally and principally correct. I stand on integrity. I'm saying, and I feel like at this point in time, you know, I'm not really worried about pissing off either side because it didn't matter either side that's been in office. The shit that we see happening to us, we don't see that happening in the same abundance with the Spanish community. The shit that's happening with us, we don't see that happening at all in the Asian community. The shit that's happening with us, we don't see it happening at all in the Jewish community. The shit that's happening with us, we don't see it happening at all in the white community.
Facts.
You know, and they could be doing 10 times worse the shit that they do in the white community. And they still go to jail if they are being arrested, you know, unscathed, unharmed, not a scratch on them. They might even make a little pit stop to get these motherfuckers some food and shit.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just looking at the situation like, okay, cool. At this point, you know, we could get online and we could vote and we could do all of that all the time like we've been doing it. But unfortunately, being that the results hasn't changed to benefit our people in either way, regardless who's in office, Democrat or Republican, I got to start doing what I can to stand more for our people than for a politician.
Facts.
And at the end of the day, you know, the activity that y'all are seeing me partake in is to really empower my people by informing my people that there's a lot more than standing on a line and filling in a blank on a white piece of paper that ain't got no fucking value and sliding that shit into a computer to be scanned to cast a vote.
Right.
And I just want to talk to my people. Sometimes a good conversation where you got people's undivided attention, you don't know what thoughts you're sparking in another individual by enlightening them a little bit and giving them some perspective that they probably never looked at shit from. You feel me?
Yeah.
So when I was out there, I was just trying to communicate with people some jewels that I really, really respected, listening to an interview that Dr. Claude Anderson had did one time. And he was kind of just breaking it down how this shit kind of really works. And the reason why shit don't ever work for us in our favor, no matter which political party is in the house. And he was explaining this shit, and it was so simple, but it was so powerful. And he was just like, yo, you know, the reason why black people don't got no say-so regardless who we vote for is because we don't got no economic value in the infrastructure of society or in government whatsoever.
Right.
And I'm listening to him elaborate on this shit, and he's like, you know.
Representation.
Not only representation, the representation comes from the economic value that you and your people have, because then you can negotiate the representation you get based on what these motherfuckers is going to do for your cash and for your vote.
For your vote, yeah.
Your support for their campaign to get in a position and in a seat that they're trying to get into as a politician, whether it's in the Supreme Court, whether it's in Congress, whether it's a councilman, whether it's an assemblyman, whether it's a president, whether it's a mayor, whether it's a governor, whatever the case may be, right? So he was pointing out to us how, you know, you might motherfucking want to peep this real quick. Every city you go to, there's a Chinatown.
Facts.
There's a Jewish community.
Facts.
There is a Spanish Harlem of some sort.
Right.
Out
here we got East Los, but it's the same shit. I get it.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There ain't no black anything. Like there's no black town. There's no community. There's no black East Los or black Harlem. There's no, that just doesn't exist nowhere. So that's a testament to how not only do we not have any economic value, we don't even have the education on how to create a system that will be a successful working economic system amongst each other. So,
you know what's interesting? Not to cut you off what you just said. There is a black subsection. We call it the hood. You know what I'm saying?
But this is what Dr. Claude Anderson said about that. He said initially it was a neighborhood, and we had neighbors. But then when the black people get up in there, that's the less fortunate, the lower class, so to speak. The opportunities in the disproportionate racial system that's set up by design did not really create any opportunity in any capacity in any area for black people. It forces this condition of living that now morphs us into somewhat civilized people to hood niggas and gangster niggas and street niggas and hustler niggas and stick-up niggas and all of that.
Right.
We didn't fuck the neighborhood up and run all of the neighbors out by turning this neighborhood into an environment that the neighbors no longer feel safe living in. So when they leave, all the neighbors is going, all you got left is the hood, like you said. So, you know, just listening to this shit, then he gets into the science of how money, when we get money, we don't even have a system in place where things are set up for us to circulate our money amongst each other and empower each other and invest in each other.
Right.
We get money, that should go to everybody else shit. The Chinese restaurant, the Italian restaurant, the Mexican food restaurants. You know, we going to all of the European designers and we trying to get all of the flyer shit and go broke. Money we don't even have just to get the fucking designer shit. And he was like, but in the Asian community, the money might circulate about 8 times of them investing in each other's business and growing each other's business and empowering each other before they even welcome any business from outside of their community to come in there and have that money circulate too.
Yeah.
Jewish community about 12 times. The white community about 17 times. So it's like, you know, they all got the opportunity to have conversations with someone that represents them and their community that's involved with politics locally, that could then go sit down and speak on behalf of these communities and be like, yo, Supreme Court judge that's trying to get this seat, or this president such and such, you want us to campaign for you? You want us to wave that Trump flag? You want us to wave that Biden flag? Okay, cool. Well, what you gonna give us if we offer you this much money to support your campaign?
Facts, we need in.
Then the motherfuckers start bending rules for them in particularly. Or they start putting people in offices by paying for their campaign that's gonna make sure that they people beat certain cases. They don't go to jail as much. They get treated a certain way by the law enforcement. So all of that shit is how this shit works. It ain't just standing on no line with a piece of paper you filling in a blank of and sending that off and thinking you could go back home and you gonna benefit from money. Neither one of them gonna give a fuck about that little piece of paper you filled out. They want that bread and they want the vote from the influence you have over this community as a representative of this large sect in this community. And that's the conversations that I was trying to have when I went out there and you see me doing the thing that I was doing.
I saw you doing the work, man. And that's why I felt like it was important to address, because I feel like a lot of times, you know, when people, like, it's almost like when you said leave Kendrick alone, right? And I saw you say that, I think it was with, I think I saw it on Associated Press. You was like, bro, leave Kendrick alone. He gonna come in due time. And I feel like, especially in our community, we put that pressure on y'all to be like, why Bus ain't say nothing? You know what I'm saying? Where Kendrick at? Why he ain't on the front line, bro? We don't need y'all on the front line. We need y'all to be utilizing your influence in the way that you can be the best benefit to the movement. So that's why I felt the need to address that. I'm gonna read you something, and I want to get your take on this. I'm gonna read you this.
All right.
You've heard this before. I'll tell you what, since we talking about the Black empowerment, it says, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a little warning. You killed your last man when you killed Dr. King. You will not get that chance to do that to me. And if it pleases God that you do kill me, right after you kill me, all of you gonna die. Oh my God, bro. Yo, let me tell you something. My shout out to Bootleg Kev, my cause. When I listen, bro, and we were talking about this shit with the homie before you jumped on, but when I was listening to the album, I had to run that shit back like 4 times, right? Because not only have I never really seen anybody put the minister on an album like that, you know what I'm saying? Not in that capacity where it's like featuring, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't recall ever seeing that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't recall seeing that. That's number one.
You're right.
Number two, I always felt like, and I've had this conversation offline. This is the first time I'm ever speak about it publicly, but I've always felt like when someone of immense influence embraces Minister Farrakhan to that degree, it always be some extra bullshit that come with it. Whenever somebody's marching the pro-black flag, or whenever somebody's speaking some truth into the atmosphere when it comes to our people, and then they go ahead and embrace the minister in that way, here come a case out of nowhere. Here come some IRS in audit. Here come, like, it just always be some bullshit. So
How about this? We're not even speaking that into the universe.
That is the case, right? I'm not wrong in that assumption.
It's not the case in my case.
Right.
I've been representing the 5% nation of the gods and earths since I was 12 years old. And ever since I put out my first record with Leaders of the New School in 1991, this is what I've represented. Ever since I went solo in 1996, this is what I've continued to represent. It ain't no secret that I am a member of the 5% nation of the gods and earths. It ain't no secret that I embrace with grace our brothers from the Nation of Islam. It ain't no secret that I love and embrace the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It ain't no secret that we honor and celebrate the legacy and the life of Malcolm X. It ain't no secret that, you know, I love and celebrate and honor the life of the father of the 5% nation of the gods and earths, who was the 13th man. Most people know him as Clarence Smith. Most people know him as Clarence the 13X. People are now getting to learn about Master Fard Muhammad as a result of this record that I made with Rick Ross.
Facts.
Who's actually the brother that came from the Middle East, and he gave knowledge of self to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad somewhere around 1930 in Detroit. And they went door to door selling silks, giving knowledge of self to Black people and civilizing the uncivilized amongst the urban city communities. Now, I can't speak for no other situation. I could only speak for mine. I have had a situation, and I ain't speaking that into the universe.
Facts.
I don't walk with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what transpired in other situations, but and I don't even know what the real issue is with the minister. I do know that we don't know that man for having any history of being a criminal, not getting a traffic ticket, not getting a jaywalking summons. You just angry at that man because he addresses things in a very holy, sacred, and pure way.
Direct.
He speaks a truth that can't be disputed. They got rid of the man's Instagram platform, the Final Call platform on Facebook, the Nation of Islam platform on Facebook, because they are speaking truth. But it's okay for us to brandish guns and flash money and show ass and pussy and all type of wild, reckless shit on the gram all day, and they ain't flagging none of that. All right. I mean, it's obvious who's, you know, feeling threatened in some kind of way by this level of truth to power.
Yeah. And
I'm not really trying to entertain none of the negative fuckery. All we out here trying to do is empower the people, man.
I love that, and I love the video too, with you and Ross. I like that y'all included. I think message to the Black man in the video too, because that I felt like that was like, okay, like if people who paying attention they understand the nuance of what's going on in that. And then also thought it was interesting. Was it a conscious decision to use the minister on the title track of the album, The Wrath of God? Because I felt like
it was definitely a conscious decision.
Okay, for sure. 100%.
When I got an opportunity to hear that dialogue and him speak in that dynamic, I don't think I've ever witnessed a man on this earth speak like that.
Man.
That the way he spoke, it cut so deep into my soul that I felt like it was not only was it the perfect representation of what the power and how compelling I wanted people to understand this album to be, but I also wanted people to feel what I felt when I heard him utter those words.
Facts.
And I wanted him to move the spirit and the souls of people the way he was moving mine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in the Master Fard video, the concept of the video was us trying to empower a young boy that kept finding mischief and trouble in the hood. And we wanted him to come around us and see, the example that he should live by of what strong, civilized, articulate, intelligent Black men with knowledge of self look like. It's actually out here doing something to buy up the neighborhood and fight against and push back against gentrification and being able to create that community amongst each other that will allow us to create that economy amongst each other that we was talking about, so that we got some value enough outside of just our spiritual value and what we got as a value in our head to be able to have a seat at the table with these politicians and negotiate what y'all gonna give us for our bread and our vote and our support.
Facts.
I wanted people to see that visually. So this young boy, we sent a car to go get him. His mom's is the typical moms that's just worried about her child. He over there stopping the bleeding on some shit over his eye from getting into some dumb shit in the street. And we dress him up and tell him, when you pull up, you gotta dress up. You can't have your pants hanging off your ass and, you walking around here looking like you just ain't got no type of civilization whatsoever. You know better than this. And we want to see you present yourself better than it. Yeah. So you show us how you gonna present yourself. And the brother got himself right, put him in a vehicle, had him pull up. He coming and he's seeing, blueprints of different properties and the geographic landscape of the city and the town that we in, and everything that we trying to buy up and build back and renovate and restore. And then you get to see the discipline and the militants and the level of intelligence amongst the Black men that we had in the presence, which was the Nation of Islam and some of Ross's crew and me and Spliff, everybody dressed looking right. You know what I'm saying? You see pictures of Master Fard Muhammad. You seeing the portrait of the 13th man, Clarence 13 next to me in another shot. You getting to see everything that connects the dots to what gave birth to this movement of civilized Black people.
Yeah.
And I wanted to exemplify that, especially in these times. It's a necessary thing that these images are being planted in the minds of everybody to remind them how they need to move, and also show the young bros how they need to move.
I like protesting through art. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that, like however you choose to express yourself, even if as long as the cause is pure, I feel like that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? You doing that.
Absolutely.
And also, I remember having a conversation with Killer Mike about hip hop being protest music in its infancy. Like hip hop derives from, an outpour of culture like that in that way, and
right.
Protest music is a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right, so I want to jump into the album real quick because I feel like, and I was like I told you, like, and out here on the West Coast, I'm known for being an asshole. I'm a very harsh critic on my hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this album is a phenomenal, bro. Like, and I would if it wasn't, I would tell you how I felt. You know what I'm saying? This is not me, shooting no smoke up your ass. I'm really telling you the truth. Like, we got into it. Me and my DJ homies. We got a group chat, and whenever some shit pop off, we in the group chat with it. And you know how that shit go. It's barbershop. It's ruthless. And you know, a couple of the homies was like not fucking with it. And I'm like, you are fucking crazy, bro. This album is the shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to listen to it. You got to ride with it. So I want to jump into it because one, I felt like, well, first of all, Kendrick is on the album. I'm from LA. Kendrick don't just do verses. You know what I'm saying? But I know, or at least I don't know if this is true, but this song is not necessarily a new song. Is that correct? Is that a rumor? Or
there's a lot of songs that I took 11 years to make this album. So
no. I know that. I know you took your time, and I know that part about it because when Kev went,
that's the point that I'm trying to make. There's a lot of songs that I made years ago that's on this album.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you know, Kendrick's song is a song that I made a little while ago, along with about at least 5, 6 other records.
Yeah.
Because there's songs that I have on here that I actually recorded in 2013.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With me and Bell Biv DeVoe, I did that in like 2013, 2012. We made the beat in 2007.
Fuck.
But I didn't get to recording it until like 2012, 2013, because, you know, I record when I feel it.
Yeah.
You know, I went and forced the energy. I let the whole shit happen organically. And this time you go in the studio, you try to come up with some shit, force the energy, you come up with nothing. And if doing to it don't sound right or it don't feel right, so I let the magic happen on its own. And that was the beauty of why this album came together so beautifully. I just was patient. That shit ended up being my greatest weapon.
Bro, I feel like, I mean, obviously you got Busta Rhymes fans all over the world, but I felt like this album was for us, low key, because you got Chris Rock narrating it. You like it just felt black as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just being honest. I'm giving you my take on it. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, Ken.
Rhapsody. You know, but then on the Kendrick song, you said you had a line in there that I want that. Oh, you said niggas are scared to rap with you, and right. I was just like, I understand that. I had a debate with one of my homies about that. I ain't gonna put him out there, but he was like, yo, like, I feel like niggas is really scared to rap. Is that how you really feel? Like some people that may or may not want to rap with Busta Rhymes, either on the feature, on the collaboration, or maybe you have not gotten a verse from them or something like that. Is that something how you really internalized in that way?
Oh, it's not a feeling, it's a fact, brother. I'm gonna give you a scenario. I'm gonna give you, actually, it's about 3 or 4 scenarios that I only have to explain in one scenario. Okay. I was raised to solicit myself. Out of sight, out of mind. Just because a nigga don't see you don't necessarily mean that he don't realize how much he needed you until you show him how much he needed you.
Word.
So there's songs that I love. I was inspired to put a verse to them. I'll put the verse on it, record the shit on my own dime, spend my own money to be on it, pay my own engineer to be on it, and I will send it to the actual artist's manager because I respect protocol. Sometimes I'll speak to the artist too and I'll send it to the artist, you know, because we could all, you know, depending on the relationship dynamic you got with them.
Right.
And the initial reaction would be, yo, this shit is fucking incredible, nigga. You bodied it hard, right? 2-3 days to go by.
Plot twist.
Absolute plot twist. A phone call will come back from the manager and it'll be something like, yo, Bus, man, nigga, we love you, my nigga. You know you're our brother, but God damn, you done killed this record so hard. You gonna fuck up my shine for my little nigga, man. You gonna try to take all the shine from my artist, man. We can't do it like this, Bus. You can't do it like this. I'm trying to get my nigga where you at, bro. Like, so I would say to them, so what you want me to do? Like, you wanted me to dumb my shit down so that your artist could shine? I mean, it's nothing. You know, I respect it. I completely respect it.
You do? I don't know that I respect that.
The reason why I respect it, you gotta understand, they didn't ask me to get on their record.
That's fair.
That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? I just did it on my own.
That's fair.
So you can't be mad at them if they choose to not use it. If they ask you to go do it, and you know, usually you got to get compensated for your time now. I don't even go in the studio without first half of my bag.
Word.
And unless it's an artist that I'm fucking with regularly and we swapping it out, it ain't nothing. But I'm not gonna be asked to do something and then I do it. And when you get it, you start running from the ass beating now. You run from the ass beating, nigga, because I'm going to spank shit.
Yo.
I come from. So then it would be different. That's a different dynamic. But in a situation where, you know, I did it on my own and I sent it, if you don't use it, I gotta respect it because ultimately you didn't ask for me to do nothing. You didn't even think about me probably doing anything. So that's okay. Most of the time I'm gonna find a placement for the verse anyway.
Word.
You feel me?
Has that happened where somebody asked you for the verse and you sent it and they didn't use it for whatever reason?
4 different times. This is what I was trying to explain to you. 4 different artists, 4 different managers, 4 different conversations. But these are super known artists too. Like I'm not in on a record just because I want to rap. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get on a record because number 1, I gotta love it first, and number 2, if I'm making the investment in myself to solicit myself, obviously we gotta make sure we maximizing the look as well. They gotta be, everything has to be strategic and carefully micromanaged so that, you know, we exploiting the look in the greatest way possible.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So I caught that bar when you said that, and I was like, okay, that must be really how he feel, or what that must be the truth. I don't know you to say anything that's typically not true at all, ever. But
yeah, I'm definitely not a fabricator or nothing. That's why you don't hear me running around there talking about, you know, how much bricks I'm moving, you know, and and niggas I'm killing. And you know, when I do go in that bag, I'm speaking from a time in my life when I was on that. But that's pre-industry Busta Rhymes. That's Reaganomics era Busta Rhymes.
Long time ago.
Yeah, we not doing that.
Also, I was telling you before we started, you know, your love out here on the West Coast is immense. Like, you know, people fuck with you. Like, as far as like, I always thought it was interesting. Me and my homie always had this conversation. It's very few rappers who can spit, who's respected both in both circles, you know, with the backpackers and then the street niggas, right?
Right.
So you are one of those. I felt like you in there, Ludacris is in there, a couple other people are in there who are like rhymers, where you were you barring up on a top 10 record type shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But then also the street niggas fuck with you on like, so, and they live in their life to your music as well. But out here, I feel like you get that respect in both circles. And I always found it interesting. Your relationship with the West Coast was dope. You being from New York and all, and even going through the 90s and that whole bullshit to now. I saw you speak on the Tupac thing with, I think was with Joe. And I thought it was interesting to me because 2 of my people, my homies, you end up fucking with in real life, J-Do and OT.
Right.
And I just thought that was dope because, and then you also had the other shit with Dre, but I just felt like I thought that was dope. You signing, you know, West Coast acts, you not necessarily being from here like that. Is that something? Have you always wanted to do something like that, sign an artist from somewhere else, or is that something you just fell into because you fuck with the homies?
I just fuck with great fucking talent, man. It don't matter where you from. It don't matter how old you are. If you look good and you're sounding good and your spirit is in the right place and you got respect and the love is reciprocal, man, listen, I'm pushing you forward as a black motherfucking man, bruh.
Right.
It's a duty to me. You know what I'm saying? I met J-Do and he was brought to the studio for me to work on this Extinction Level Event 2 album in 2009.
Word.
And Lonnie Burrell brought J-Do to the studio to help co-write a hook for a song that me and Jamie Foxx did.
Right.
A Siege Monstrosity beat that is just one of the most retarded shits that I motherfucking
well, Siege is a little off too. Siege is off a little bit, so it makes sense.
Siege all the way off.
Right.
That's why that nigga's a genius too.
Right, right.
So you know, from then to now, me and Doe became brothers. You know, I met OT Genesis in 2013. You know, we had a simple conversation. that led us to being able to meet with each other the next day at Boom Boom Room in Burbank, which is Will Smith's studio. And we got in there the next day, had a meeting again, heard his records for real, properly outside the club with all of the distractions, watched him perform all of them shits when he was press and play with the crazy turn-up energy. And then we had a real respect about morals, principles, integrity, and respect. We just ended up clicking immediately. And we was able to get to this money and do business and empower each other. And that's what the fuck it's about for me. I love the West Coast because from the West Coast, my first time touching and planting my feet on the soil of Los Angeles, to be the first rap group to ever perform on In Living Color, thanks to Rosie Perez.
Yep.
She was fucking with us crazy on some she loved leaders of the new school.
Yeah.
And she just was trying to do something to help, her little young bros from New York that she felt had the potential to be something. And when she put us on to the Wayans Brothers and the Wayans Brothers sauce, Keenan Ivory Wayans just embraced us with grace and had us up there multiple times. But from the first time I came out there, you know what I'm saying, and was staying at the fucking Le Parc Hotel and walking to Pink Dot across the street from Mondrian to get sandwiches, you know what I'm saying, and then going to Sunset Tattoo when it was down the street from fucking Pink Dot to get our first tattoos and shit. We was walking around free. It wasn't cool to have security back then either. So your respect came from the way you presented yourself and how you dealt with people and how you embraced people. So whether it was gangster niggas or it was backpack niggas, you know what I'm saying, Freestyle Fellowship was running around, motherfucker, Del the Funky Homo Sapien and Souls of Mischief, all them niggas was around when we was coming up in that era. It was just a freeness. Niggas wasn't beefing like that. If you beefed, it was battle rap. Let's settle this some battle rap shit and everybody could go home.
Yep.
Everybody walked around and felt good to be able to give love and get love. And it just was a good time at that time, and particularly to start building the respect and the rapport. As time passed and House of Blues opened up across the street from the Mondrian, and the fucking hood started coming over there when concerts was happening. That's when we started to cross paths with a few niggas on some gangster shit. And shit,
Hey, that's when niggas start getting cars. They start.
Word. Niggas was like, oh, there's such a New York niggas is coming out here today to perform. Okay.
Yeah.
So all of that shit, it was real. And the interactions started to happen in those times. And the love and the respect was still dope based on how the initial get-togethers was.
Mm-hmm.
The initial get-togethers was right. They led to long-term motherfucking great relationship energy. And that's what the nature of how shit evolved for me with the respect. And I loved it. I gave a lot of love. I'm a giver of love. I received it. But I also made sure that the respect was never compromised as far as being a man is concerned.
Right.
Everybody respect it as long as you keep it tall and you stand up on certain principle. You ain't gotta be out there trying to gangbang and, act like you wanna be the toughest fucking rootin' tootin' cowboy in the street to get respect from gangsters. Niggas just gotta know that you a solid motherfucker and you're gonna get your love. And that's what I try to always exemplify.
I remember, I know I told you that before we jumped on, like my homie, Glasses always said that about you. You was always like that. What I also want, I want to
say it on the record. I love you, Glasses. G Malone, I love you very much, brother.
Right.
Me and you was a long time now. I salute G Malone to the fucking fullest. And I just I had to say that on the record.
I got you. Also I never got a chance to talk to you because I want to ask you about your relationship with Dre, because I know you dropped the Big Bang album on Aftermath, and how did that end up starting? And then you left Aftermath, after one album. So I always wanted to know what how that ended up coming about, you working with Dre in that way.
That actually came about because at one Grammy Awards show that I brought my moms to, Dr. Dre was there, and my moms wanted to meet Dre. She respected, she don't really know his music. She knows certain songs, but she really knows his success as a businessman.
Right.
And my mom's is very much into paying attention to the business side of things because she runs my whole estate. And it's been that way since Leaders of the New School. My mom signed my contract when I was 17. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what's up.
She come from a law firm background. So she understood how to really implement business infrastructure in a solid way. And she always paid attention to who in my world of this industry of music that I was involved in, that she should keep her eyes on. And she would suggest to me who I should try to start having an open dialogue with, create relationships with, just to help, learn from business side of things.
Mm-hmm.
In 2004, me and my moms, we coming out the Grammys, and Dre was with Mike Lynn, his brother named Mike Lynn. And Mike Lynn, and me had exchanged numbers. I introduced Dre and Mike Lynn to my moms. Everybody said, what's up? The vibe was beautiful. Me and Mike Lynn exchanged information, followed up with Mike Lynn, and me and Dre always had love. But what really started that was on the Anarchy album, I got a song called Salute the Gods.
Yeah.
Dre was on the Up and Smoke tour. I remember being at the crib watching it on MTV, scenes and shit, and they went in Dre's dressing room, and when Dre opened the door, he had the Salute the Gods record screaming in his dressing room.
Oh, shit.
And I'm looking at the fucking screen like, yo, Dre playing my shit right before he got to go on stage? Wow.
Wow.
So I fucked around and I seen Dre in an interview say, that the Salute the Gods record from the Anarchy album was one of the songs that would get him in the zone before he went to perform every night. And he really loved that record.
That's big, bro.
I was like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I'm I think the whole damn world is huge fans of Dre's creative.
Oh, I'm from LA, bro. So
you know what I'm saying? He's the God producer to me. So
he's the guy.
So I ended up following up with Mike Lynn. We set up some meetings, and a few times I came to LA to meet with Dre, and we didn't get to link up. Then the opportunity finally presented itself to link up. We clicked, and that was it. Did the paperwork, signed the Aftermath when I was leaving J Records, because I had did a 2-album deal over there, J Records, Sony RCA. And after I put out that Mariah record in 2003 off of that album, and that shit was sizzling, energy was up. We was like, all right. Dre was like, we're going to get to it. We're going to capitalize off the steam. But then you know how meticulous Dre is. So it took me damn album, man. And that shit was driving me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That shit was driving me fucking crazy because I never experienced that. I never...
Yeah. Every hi-hat got to be right.
Every fucking sound. But
that's what makes him the god, though, bro.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
See, I learned the value of patience in a whole new way, fucking with the big homie. And I got in shape for the first time fucking with the big homie.
Oh, man. Busta.
I ain't gonna front. Like, Dre empowered me in fucking ways, but it helped me deal with the frustration of the process taking so long. I had to get the frustration off somewhere. So I was going to the gym like a fucking madman.
Not gonna lie, bro, around that time when you came out and you peeled out, everybody was looking at Bus like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Why Busta look like a transformer?
Nah, it was good for me though. Like I needed that. You know what I'm saying? And I needed that. It was great for me, man. I learned a fucking whole lot. All of that experience is what I applied in this journey creating Extinction Level Event 2, The Wrath of God.
Yeah.
And that patience ended up becoming my greatest weapon. All of these monumental moments would not have ended up on one album if I was racing through release projects. They would have been scattered through different moments if I was still blessed to have all of them come to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it wouldn't have allowed the album to be as potent because they would have not had all of these moments together in one concentrated effort.
This album to me is definitely, like you said, I could tell, you know how when you eating good food and you could tell that the cook took his time? Like,
yeah.
That's how the
yeah.
album feel to me. Like it tastes like a good meal. Like you took your time and really did your
Oh
shit.
man, that's my type of talk. I love that. That's the metaphor for exactly what the fuck time and patience and effort is that went into this body of work, bro.
Got
Thank
you.
you for saying that,
No, it's
man.
all good. Sequel albums though tend to get, you know, a lot of scrutiny because it's like, oh shit, here comes a sequel of an album. Did you have any
Right.
reluctancy to falling into that curse of the sequel shit? Because you know, like I don't know if there's that many great sequel albums to top the first one.
That's the first thing that I wanted to say. I was never a fan of sequel albums for my own catalog personally.
Right.
I'm a fan of certain sequel albums, like Chronic 2001 was the fucking phenomenal sequel. You know what I'm saying? And there's been several others that I've been a fan of. But for me, I never thought about. I always felt like the moments that happened with my albums, those moments was those albums should stay in those moments. I realized that this album was deemed worthy to be the sequel once I started to really see where I was creatively going with the shit that I was talking about and how powerful the final production value of them songs was feeling when they was done, from the beats to the way they was sounding when they slapped after the mixes was getting done, and the fucking bars that was going into these shits, and what was inspiring me at the time to talk the shit that I was talking. When I saw in the collabs that was coming out for me, when I started to see the shit that I was sitting on, I was like, yo, this shit feeling like some Extinction Level Event 2 shit for real.
Word, right.
And then when I went and got the brothers who did the intro from the original Extinction Level to do the new intro on this one, the same dudes, Jeff Schill, J Love, you know, Sketch, like, it was just like, how crazy is it that 22 years later, everybody that was on the first album 22 years ago is still alive to go on this ride again with me 22 years later? Ain't nobody died. There's some shit that I'm going to take advantage of.
Yeah.
Every producer, Rockwaller, Swiss Beats, DJ Scratch, Knots, Jay Dilla, my Avengers, from the first one, pretty much all of the Busta Rhymes albums, got busy on this shit. And new producers that ended up on this album is producers that I actually became very close with along the 11-year journey to finishing this album. So this shit is all done from a place of real camaraderie, friendship, love, respect, loyalty, commitment. Like, everybody involved really was invested in helping me see this shit through.
The Verzuz thing, is that for show, or how's that gonna play? I saw you and Tip having the banter. Is that something that is gonna happen?
Nah, that's me and Tip ain't gonna happen. And I never asked for Tip.
I know what you said, but I saw you.
The problem is, there's no one that has been willing to get in the ring with me up to this point, and we done ran through approaching about 4 artists, and it's okay though, because, you know, at the end of the day, I understand, you know, the same way you gotta prepare for anything, you gotta prepare for this, because no matter what the outcome is, everybody still benefits, but it's also the reality that you gotta deal with for the next week from the regular fans and consumers that's watching this, and whatever shit gonna go viral based on what they saying about what the general consensus is of the outcome.
Right.
And whoever takes the L, according to, you gotta hear that shit from them for like the next week, and that's challenging. And I think, you know, motherfuckers know I'm super with the smoke. I sit in the smoking section, and I am a. So, with that being said, man, I'm coming to smoke something, and I'm gonna sizzle that motherfucker with the burnt cooked food off the skillet, and that shit gonna steam up the whole room and fuck the room up and stink it up bad. And that's coming from a respectfully competitive place.
Hey,
you know
in the words of Busta Rhymes, nobody wants to rap with you. You know what I'm saying? So we'll leave it at that. Extinction Level Event 2 is out. Please go stream that phenomenal body of work. I appreciate you, OG. Hopefully when you come to the West, we can connect. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, King. I appreciate you. I do want to add to that Extinction Level event too. Reloaded is also out.
Yes.
That November 2nd. 4 more bangers on that. So enjoy both versions of the album, everybody. I appreciate everybody. Salute y'all. DJ Head, I salute you. You as well, King.
Love.
And thank you for your love, family. Salute my entire West Coast family that have been showing me all of this love via you, my brother. So salute everybody for me. Thank you.
Appreciate you, OG.